Pretty Little Liars, episode 4, season 1. Starts off with Blondie comes outside her house and her mom is talking to a police officer because in the previous episode her name is Hannah. Hannah crashed her boyfriend's car because he wouldn't have sex with her. So they bicker about that. They go in the house, and then the next scene. So the 4 main girls are at the park. There's Hannah, the blonde, the really anime looking one, big eyes, Aria, there's the really smart one, Spencer, and then there's the confused lesbian, Emily. So all 4 of them are at the park, and they block Allison has been harassing them on social media, so they block her off of all social media. And then the wind gusts a piece of paper onto one of their legs, and they pick it up, and in red ink it goes something about a bitch, something the bitch, just a ransom note from a dead teenager. You know, it's casual. Next scene. So they're at school. They're at high school, even though they're all dressed like they're 30, and all the people look like they're 30. They all come into the cafeteria, and the confused lesbian, Emily, gets a scarf from her girl admirer, and she's all like weird about it. She's like, we're at school, what is this? Like, she's very put off by that. So that's what happens. And then apparently Aria and her teacher have been like flirting, her English teacher, and they like kind of set up a date, which is cool for her. So yeah, they set up a date, and that's cool. And Hannah gets a call from her dad, and he's like, let's have dinner, even though I left you and your mom. And she's like, I'm so excited. That sounds great. And then we are out of high school, and yes, we are out of high school. And we next go to the Aria's house. Next scene. So Aria's mom's cooking chicken, and Aria walks in and is like, oh Mom, I can't have your chicken tonight. I'm going to my friend's house, when she's really going to the teacher's house. So she's like, oh, that's cool. And then Aria has a flash. She's like, oh, you and your dad and I will just have a date night. And then it's a flashback to like her seeing him in a car with another woman and them kissing, and the dead girl Allison being like, you can't tell your mom, that would be bad, blah blah blah. And then she's like, her mom's like, what's wrong? She's like, can I have a carrot? And she like walks out. It's really weird. And so then Hannah and her mom and her dad are planning to go out to dinner, but the dad's like, oh, I just want to take Hannah out to dinner. And the mom's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then Hannah's like, this is a trick. This is a trick to get you to scold me about crashing my ex-boyfriend's car who didn't have sex with me. And he's like, yeah, you're right, okay, let's go to an amusement park. Next scene. So, throughout this episode, they keep getting, like, weird texts and stuff from A, even though they supposedly blocked him or her. And so, they have these little, like, powwows throughout the show, like, okay, like, and then someone always goes, oh, A, her, and they go, it could be a him. It could be a him. Which, like, okay, like, sure. Like, dead friend could be a her. And so, next part is, Aria and the teacher are at his house having dinner. And they get into this really weird argument about, Aria's parents and how she's like, oh, you don't know my family. And he's like, well, like, it's not your fault that your dad cheated on your mom. Like, that's something they need to work out. And she's like, are you telling me that I'm too immature to handle this? Do you think I'm a child? And he's like, I don't think you're a child. Like, I want to bang you. Like, why would I want to bang a child? Like that was, like, really weird. And then she, like, grabs her purse. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not a child, I'm a woman. Okay, sure. Next scene. So the confused lesbian, and her friend, meet up at her friend's work, and she's like, yeah, listen, I'm kind of feeling weird about this. And she's like, that's okay, I'll wait for you. You mean a lot to me, I'll wait for you. It's okay if you don't feel comfortable with this. If you don't feel comfortable with this yet. She's like, cool, let's chill. And then the next day, and then it goes to the next day in class. Next scene. So, they're all in the English class, and the teacher, pissed, really upset about the way things went with him and Aria last night. He walks in, they're reading To Kill a Mockingbird, which is what I read freshman year of high school. I was just banging a freshman. That's fucked up. But Boo Radley this, Boo Radley that. Atticus was a thing. Atticus went. He like confronts Aria, makes a big scene. Everyone looks at her like, oh my god, everyone knows they're fucking. Because of the way that we're looking at each other. So, later that night, they have the confrontation. Aria and Peter, and he comes storming in to his apartment, like, what the fuck was that in class? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm sorry, you're right. And so she's like, I am. And he's like, I could see it in his eyes. He was just doing them because he wants to have sex with her. And then they close the door and then it makes it seem like they're like fooling around. Which is disappointing. People talk about fooling around on the show, but nobody ever does. makes me angry. It's like Twilight. How they didn't have sex until the 4th book. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. That's stupid. Anyway. So, this is towards end of the episode, and Spencer and her ex-boyfriend had a long night. He comes in drunk, and he picks up one of the he picks up one of her rose plants. He's British. I don't understand. He's British, and he takes a potted plant from outside. Meanwhile, she's inside hearing all these noises, grabs a knife, like looking around, she's like, oh my god, this is A. And he comes stumbling into the scream. And she's like, oh my god, what are you doing? I'm angry at you. It's like, I'm sorry. I still love you. And she's like, okay, whatever, you're drunk, you can stay over. Then, after that, some other is not been some problem. I so Hannah and Spencer knew that after Spencer just loves her boyfriend. So Hannah and Spencer are about to home, and the broken pot on the ground is put back. It's put back together on the counter, and they're like, oh my god, someone's been here. And then they go up, they go to Spencer's room to look for Allison's bracelet. And they gasp. And the machine ends there. And they text Aria and Emily to let them. They're like, come here! SOS! It's A! They all get to Frank's house. And then it goes to Gmeiner, and right the stick, it says, you, it says, you think you can get rid of me that easily, bitches? And it says, you think you can get rid of me that easily, bitches? And then they're like, oh my god. And that's the end of the episode.